You're rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats.
Aprilia team rider Jorge Martin has suffered another unfortunate fate. The Spaniard crashed during a free practice session ahead of the Qatar MotoGP series. This incident again raises concerns about his physical condition, especially after he missed the previous 3 series: Thailand, Argentina and America. Martin had been predicted as one of the strong candidates for world champion this season thanks to his consistent and passionate performance at the start of the season. However, his injury started to become a major hindrance in his journey this season. His absence from several important series has put his position in the riders' standings at risk and put huge pressure on the Aprilia team to find short and long-term solutions. The crash in the practice session put Martin back in the media spotlight. Although there has been no official statement from the team or Jorge Martin's management, many suspect that his chances of appearing in the Qatar MotoGP are very small. Especially considering that his previous injuries have not fully recovered, and the latest crash could have worsened his condition. The medical team is currently conducting a series of evaluations and further examinations to determine the extent of the impact of the crash. If Martin is again declared unfit, then he will have to miss 4 consecutive races, a situation that is quite tough both mentally and technically. For the Aprilia team, this is a big challenge. Martin's absence means losing potentially valuable points, as well as momentum in developing the bike in the middle of a competitive season. Several speculations have emerged, including the possibility of Aprilia relying on test riders or backup riders if Martin really can't perform in Qatar. Here's the full news. The 2025 season is a tough challenge for Jorge Martin. The Aprilia team's flagship rider suffered another accident during a free practice session ahead of the Qatar MotoGP series. The crash, which occurred in a fast corner, made Martin's situation even more complicated, especially after previously he had to pull out of 3 consecutive series due to injury. Since the start of the season, Martin has actually shown great potential to compete at the top. His aggressive and determined racing style made him a threat on every track. However, a series of unfortunate events began to erode his ambitions. The injury he suffered after the Portugal series then forced him to miss the Thai, Argentine and American MotoGP, 3 crucial series that could have been a field of points. Now, after his latest crash in Qatar, Martin's future to return to racing in the near future is again in question. There has been no official statement from the Aprilia team regarding the extent of the rider's latest injury. However, reports suggest that Martin was in visible pain when he was evacuated from the track, although he was still conscious. A string of injuries and the impact on Aprilia. For the Aprilia team, this is obviously a big blow. Jorge Martin is their spearhead this season. Losing him for 4 consecutive races was not only a matter of losing their main rider, but also losing the momentum of the bike development they were pursuing. Without Martin's presence, important data from the races cannot be obtained optimally. While his teammates are still struggling to break into the top flight, Martin's absence deprives Aprilia of potential podium finishes at some of their favorite circuits. On the other hand, the team has also not announced whether it will use a test rider as a replacement if Martin really has to miss Qatar again. Names like Lorenzo Savadori have been mentioned as a temporary option, but still, no one can fully replace Martin's role. The big question, is Martin ready to perform in Qatar? This situation also raises a big question among fans and observers. Will Jorge Martin appear in the Qatar MotoGP? Or will he be sidelined again to make a full recovery? Medically, the decision will be determined by the MotoGP team of doctors and Aprilia's internal medical team. If the results of the evaluation show that Martin is not in prime condition for a full race, then the decision to sit out will most likely be taken in favor of the rider's safety. However, the pressure from the competition side is also great. MotoGP is a highly competitive sport, and missing 4 races could have a direct impact on Martin's chances in the world title race this season. He certainly doesn't want to lose any further momentum, but racing when not 100% fit could risk aggravating the injury. Public reaction and fan hopes. On social media, the hashtag #GetWellSoonMartin was trending after the training incident. Fans showed tremendous support, hoping Martin could recover as quickly as possible and return to the track in the best possible condition. Many expressed concern, but still hoped that he would not force himself to go down in Qatar if he was not physically ready. Meanwhile, several MotoGP legends also spoke up. They suggested that Martin take time to fully recover, considering that his long-term potential in MotoGP is far more important than forcing 1 or 2 series. Waiting for the final decision. Until now, the Aprilia team is scheduled to make an official statement regarding Jorge Martin's condition in the next 1 to 2 days, after all medical examinations have been completed. The decision will greatly determine the course of the Qatar MotoGP, as well as open or close Martin's chances of continuing to compete in the title race this season. Whatever the final verdict, this incident is a reminder of how violent and unpredictable the world of motorcycle racing can be. One crash can drastically change the course of a season, and riders like Martin must continue to fight, not only on the track, but also in recovering physically and maintaining a winning mentality.
Oh gosh, she's such a tease, bitten lips, bruised knees. I'm addicted to her, need her touching me, cause she got a bad little waist. And we tearing down this place, off the liquor that we chase. Got some egos to the face, baby, I don't need no space. Coming closer for a taste, and I'll show you how I make everything just fade away. Cause she's like sex, drugs, cocaine, body so insane. Jealous of the clothing that she wears up on that tight frame. All game, no shame, baby, came here to play. I feel like an addict cause she's sex, drugs, cocaine. Got a fine little body and her mind's kinda naughty. They say that once you taste it, you cannot replace it. She could get you high, all the dopamine inside triggers fast once she's naked. Her body's a creation. They say the devil made her for his entertainment, but even he couldn't learn how to contain it. Her high heels make a damn good statement. There is no replacement, a body by Satan. Cause she got a bad little waist, and we tearing down this place, off the liquor that we chase. Got some egos to the face, baby, I don't need no space. Coming closer for a taste, and I'll show you how I make everything just fade away. Cause she's like sex, drugs, cocaine, body so insane. Jealous of the clothing that she wears up on her tight frame. All game, no shame, baby, came here to play. I feel like an addict cause she's sex, drugs, cocaine.